Okay, hello everybody. So welcome to our second set of videos for COMP3218, Game Design and Development at the University of Southampton. My name is Dave Millard, I'm one of the lecturers on the course, and I'm here with...
Adrian Chapman, another lecturer on the course.
And Tom Blount, I am another lecturer on the course.
Great, okay, so I think we've got a couple of games to look at in this video. So Tom, do you want to say a little bit about what we asked the students to do?
Yeah, absolutely. For this coursework, we were looking at storytelling in games. So we asked our students to make another small game prototype that had a story engine, so a game where the player's actions would impact the narrative. And they could pick one of three different fairy tales to interpret. They could do Rapunzel, the Frog Prince, or the Travelling Musicians.
Brilliant, okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they've done with these. It should be quite interesting. So let's load up our first one. So do we know what this one is called?
This one is called Out with the Old, In with the New.
Let's see if I can bring it. Aha, okay, this takes me back to my childhood, the music anyway.
Okay, so this one is probably the Travelling Musicians. That is a story involving a ragtag band of 4 animals who want to become musicians.
Okay.
This was a story I wasn't familiar with before we did this coursework.
Oh really? So yeah, I remember it from when I was a kid. It seemed just as strangely pointless then when I read it now. But, okay, let's start the game, I guess. I like the style.
Yeah, it's nice they've got sort of like a title screen with stuff happening.
Right.
Okay, WC.
So I like the fact they haven't forgotten about the whole tutorial thing.
Yep.
And E to interact.
Okay.
Okay, so...
What is the owner doing?
Owner?
We can't speak person.
No. He chops some. What is he doing with the axe?
He's probably going to chop some more wood, right? That's...
Oh
no!
Oh dear.
Oh no! Poor donkey.
Who are you? It's a witch, apparently. You saved me. I'm not quite sure why the three question marks.
Because we...
I can't understand who you are. There you go. Now that I'm homeless, so I'm not entirely sure what happened.
I just tried to kill us, and the witch saved us.
So let's explore the world. Okay, and I can still right. Let's have a look round. It's down here. So some sort of house. Ah,
There's a cat.
cat. I was kind of expecting at some point. Alright, that's nice. I like that. Hello, ass. What happened to you? Marvellous. Oh, there you are. So now it's explained. That's good. Try to kill me. Did either of you have a look at this in the
Yeah,
in the
I
extra?
had a look at this one.
Yeah. Cool. Alright.
So the cat doesn't believe us.
Okay.
So we have to find a way of convincing the cat to come with us.
Okay.
So there's a light on in that window, so you can peek through there.
That is my E. Yeah. Nice little prompt. The owners are home.
But we
Who
still
knows?
don't understand human, so we need to find a companion that does.
Seems to be the way. Right, let's go. So it's kind of like a little puzzle adventure. Which is quite cute. Ah. It's down there. Ah, here you
I
go.
thought that was a pit the first time I saw it.
Yes. The background graphics are a little bit misleading, aren't they? But quite effective. What's this? Dog's house. I don't see her anywhere. Okay. So let's go and she's at the back. In the field with... Oh. Why is it so dark in here? Alright, so we've got a little maze section. Finish the maze and save the dog. Great.
It's not just a maze, there are
Oh.
buttons. So I like this one because it's the switch and the door are very, very close together. So you
The
can sort of,
first one you can see how it works.
Yeah, that's nice actually, isn't it? Yeah,
so again, sort of remembering stuff from previous coursework.
absolutely. in there. Okay. Although actually,
No, it's a good maze.
it's not bad as a maze to navigate. It's kind of so it's done something
That will have opened the red door.
which I haven't found yet. So there's a
That's a purple one as well.
purple
Go
door.
touch
So
Was that a door or is that a button?
there's a blue door,
Okay.
and there's that. So blue door.
So behind the purple door there's a blue switch, I imagine.
Okay, so I need to find the purple switch.
Just
That's
that.
it. Go back.
Oh, that is the switch. It's
Yeah.
not, I thought it was a door. Ah, there we go. Sorry. So I can go through that one. That's the blue one. So actually, yeah, it's a quite nicely little designed maze. Which door was it? That one?
I think that was.
I missed something there.
I think we're on the right track.
I think you're on good.
Right in there.
Maybe. Oh, maybe.
Green door.
I will admit,
White
when I
door.
tried this at the expo, I hit a snag and I was able to see the maze. So it was a lot easier when I
Ah.
played it.
I've met the dog. Or is that
Yeah, that's
dog? Dog. Thank you. You want to come with me? I get a feeling that through these videos we're going to have to develop voices for
Yes,
the
well,
dogs and the
the
priest the
dogs
animals.
and the, yes.
So he can develop some. He can speak human.
you can understand. You
I'm
can't
standing
speak.
here. Alright. The sun is getting brighter. Oh, that's handy. That's
So we
good.
go to the right and then up. And then there's a passage that leads all the way back around.
Oh, got the writer. How wonderful.
Yeah. There's some nice
Yeah.
little design touches to
It
getting
is.
through that maze, and actually, it's not. It's designed quite well to kind of allow you to progress as well. Right. So
You know,
that
I
was
know it's
dog.
background noise, but I actually think the music is done very well in this.
That's it. It really fits like
It
the
fits
graphics.
the,
that
the
you use as well.
tone, and it's not intrusive.
Yeah. Right. Let's come around here. So I need to listen to the window first, perhaps. You got them? Cat's owners are at home. Cat's old. He doesn't catch mice anymore. Let's get a new one. Or it's cat pie, everybody. Let's go and tell the cat. Nice. I can understand human language. Hey. So we've got a cat. Cat can climb into small spaces. So this is nice. We're kind of gathering up a little troop.
Yep. Each has different skills to use as you need them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I liked that the dialogue changed once you had a new skill.
Yes. So I also like the fact that they've used. So although I'm looking at this, I'm guessing I can go anywhere at the beginning, but because they happened along this route, there is a sort of a tendency. So although it feels like I've been in control of everything, actually,
Yeah,
I've
being
encountered
guided along.
I've encountered all the story elements in the right order.
Oh, go down
So
again. There's something I can think about it.
There's a rooster.
there's the Easter.
Now this bit's a little bit incongruous.
A hen. That's a chummy. Nice. Right, I managed to fly away. But the door is closed. Combination for the door. Repeat the colour. Oh, yeah, that's a bit strange. Repeat the colour code of that in mistakes. Do you see the red then?
I
So
think it's
green,
red.
green, red.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yellow, yellow, red.
Yellow, red. Alright.
But again, sort of more puzzle elements. Even if it is a little bit weird, they're
Red. Red. Yellow.
Okay. Green, red, yellow. Green. Oops. Red. Red again. And yellow. Okay. Green, yellow, red.
Yep.
Green.
I had a really hard time when I played this one, watching the flashes. There was something about just the tonal difference in the colors that I really struggled with.
What was that one wrong? Oh no,
No, it's finished. No, I agree. And also the tutorial text, which although I find really useful,
Yeah.
it comes up over the.
Yeah, but see, the initial when they first started running, yes.
But general,
I really like that there are these little puzzles, and they are part of the story.
I don't know. I like them, but so the maze I like because it is sort of it's a sensible puzzle. Apart from I don't know why there are buttons and doors in a maze, but fine, whatever. The fact that just 3 buttons suddenly appear out of nowhere in the middle of this canyon is a little bit dissonant. But yeah, it's a nice little puzzle. And I think the way they included it was quite good.
Have our troop. Oh, it's silent.
But you're right. I think they could have exaggerated the noises on the buttons a little bit more.
So I like the way that the path takes you directly past the sign, so because I wouldn't have noticed it otherwise.
Yeah, so you get that
flashed up.
prompt.
Okay, so I know the story, so I have my full troop.
So we've come across a house.
So let's do. Yeah. There's a light in the window. It's a bit shabby. Dog. Listen. Nice load we got from that caravan. So we found the robbers. We take their house when they leave. Okay. So the owners are the thieves. And it's made of wool, so knocking won't help. Alright, a little bit arbitrary, but so the cats will sneak in.
I was going to say before you do that, because there is actually a sort of a little secret area that is useful.
Okay.
So before you go in that door, if you go around to the top of the house,
yeah,
you see that little hole?
Yeah.
The cat can fit inside there.
Okay, let's send the cat in.
You found a heart.
Okay. So I come back in. So we've sent the rooster in to unlock the door. Oh, don't shoot. We're here to talk. Talk the chicken. Alright, I like the comedy rooster. It's great. Nice. It's a dramatic reunion. So nice to see you all. Hey.
A happy ending.
Very nice. Try to save more or less animals to see all the endings. Okay, nice. All right, so I think maybe while we have a little chat about the various different bits,
we'll just race through as
we'll have a go through. So, so first of all, what do we think of the game itself, the quality of the game?
I think it's very nicely put together. You've got some sort of little cutscene aspects like this that we'll talk about more in a second, but the sort of tone is nice. They've got a sort of cohesive tile set. The music matches with it. The controls seemed quite nice when I played it in the Xbox.
Yep.
The puzzles all work quite well. I mean, like I say, they're a bit sort of incongruous, sort of just buttons randomly appearing in the desert, but the actual puzzle itself was quite nicely designed.
Yeah, I think so. It's very effective. It's very well presented. Go down there. What's down there? So,
that's right. We can also go and talk to the witch once we have the.
Yes, and the witch says that. Interestingly, the witch provides a bit of a false start in that if you get if you get dog and you go back and talk to the witch, she says there's something special in the area behind your owner's home. Unfortunately, if you then take your donkey and try to go back to the farmer who tried to kill you, thinking that was the owner, you're all false. What they were trying to get you to do is realize that the owners were what you thought was the robbers and to go to the house.
So what is the significance of the heart? That's the. So if you don't have the heart, what happens?
I'm not sure.
So I tried to enter the house without the heart, and bad things happened.
That's the problem. Is I can't enter the house
without your critters.
So honestly, it said try to rescue more or less animals, but I'm guessing the only one that we can't rescue or don't have to rescue is the rooster, because we need.
But we need
the dog to convince the cat, and we need the cat to get inside the house.
Right.
So
we need the rooster to get inside the house, don't we?
The cat. was the
Was the
rooster
cat.
can speak human.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of their, I might be worth having a look at their game notes maybe.
That's how we do
Let's see what they said. So here we've got the.
But they have a very nice, if slightly complicated graph showing all the different paths you can take through the story.
Yeah. Is it worth me? Okay. So how many are there alternative endings to the story, or I get this levels? No, that's fine. So yeah, are there alternative endings, or
Seems to be. So I think if we just take the rooster, there will be a different ending.
okay?
In fact, it says the notes I've got here says scary graphic dash rooster boss battle. So
Okay.
I'm excited to see that.
Scary graphic rooster boss battle. Fine. So there's one. I got this wrong. I can't remember that one. No. Oh, it's put me right back to the beginning. So what about some of the other elements? So what about the kind of the agency aspects that they've done here?
So initially, when I played this, I felt like there wasn't that much agency because it felt like you had to get, or like I said a moment ago, it felt like you would sort of have to get all of the animals to make it to the end.
Yeah.
But sort of going through some of their notes, they suggest that isn't the case. You can sort of acquire them in any order, which is a sort of agency, but also you can actually just go straight to the end.
So the problem is talking while doing this puzzle. As I keep missing things. Yeah, I like the way they've done that kind of managed or guided agency, where they've kind of persuaded you to go around a particular route.
I think it's green first.
Oh, yeah, so I'm not paying attention anymore. That's all right. Let's talk about it. So I think it's worth talking about it. So so I think they've got that kind of that sense where they're guiding you around using the paths, and they're using that. It feels like that in terms of the interactions, they've got a system where the actions you take in the game do have a consequence for the narrative, so it flows that way. In terms of the narrative having an impact on the game, it's clearly got as you go through, you collect the characters then change the way that you can do things. It might have been interesting, I don't know whether there's a configuration, so there's sort of multiple paths, there are multiple ways to solve the puzzles or not, but I think, in principle they've done a nice job of linking the two things up in that way. So the other thing that we wanted to think about with these games is to make sure that the story and the games actually kind of gel in a particular way. So in other words, do the mechanics make sense in terms of the game? Is there are they using the mechanics as metaphor? Is there a dissonance between them? So what's your thoughts?
So I've already said that I think the fact that Button's found in the desert's a little bit sort of it's a gameplay element that doesn't really sort of fit into the rest of the story.
Now,
However,
let me
that's
ask.
said,
Okay.
Sort of the overarching themes of this story are sort of like companionship, working together, things like that.
Yeah.
And they do have that because you need to sort of build your team and then go back and sort of use everyone's different skills and things like that.
Yeah,
So,
I mean they've definitely got that element of putting getting the band together basically. That's the very very thing big thing. And really the story is about the animals all coming together, and I think in the actual story they just make a lot of noise altogether, and altogether they can make enough noise to scare the robbers. So although they've translated that to different skills, I think it kind of works. And there's definitely a bit of a theme there of kind of coming together. I'm not quite sure how the twist at the end fits with that, but kind of it makes an interesting little end point. So.
And that's it. So we said they didn't have to follow the stories exactly. They could sort of interpret and reinterpret them as they wanted, as long as it was obvious which one they'd chosen. So I think having that sort of like that twist ending, if you've sort of found all the secrets or whatever, is a nice way of doing it. So this is the bit I'm curious about.
This is why I continued us on while chatting, because I want to see the...
Age has taken over his
puzzle master.
That's a rooster room.
Nope, the door is locked. So how do we, if we just have... Let's go check the window, okay.
So the rooster can speak human, I think.
I don't know if you can understand it.
No, he can't. What if we take their house maybe? And we'll scare them. Okay, so this is a completely different path now. Okay. Because we don't have the dog, we don't hear the...
Hear them talking about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's an ominous fade.
Yes.
Okay. Ominous faded again.
I think the fade's taking a little bit longer just because we're building on, but
Okay.
Boo. Oh, and I love the rooster is doing something. That's excellent. All right.
Yeah, that's animation. It says, I know we should have had an animation here, but we ran out of time to do animation.
There's a lot of scariness going on.
And he scared them off.
excellent. So can we go in the house now?
Hang on, I don't... Oh, looks that way. Oh, so maybe not.
Yes.
Oh, we did it. Okay.
So we get our house back, but we don't get to reunite with our...
So yeah,
Uh-oh, we're doing another of these fades.
Yeah.
So there are some alternative endings depending on the order in which you
Which is excellent.
Yeah. So there's a certain amount. So one of the interesting things is how much feedback you give people about the consequences of their actions.
Yes.
So.
Oh no!
This is the boss battle.
I think
the answer real monster to the back. Bring it on. Oh right.
Oh, so it's an actual...
Avoid the bullets. And oh no, somebody else is going to have to drive on this one.
No, I can't possibly. Right.
So it's interesting that I guess one of, I don't know if I'd call it the bad ending, but sort of one of the endings, the suboptimal ending is one that has actually more gameplay to it. You've got one life left. Oh no.
I've got to make my way down here. You died. Rob's had a nice feast. Okay, alright.
But it's interesting there wasn't really sort of that extra sort of gameplay chunk if you got the good ending.
Yes.
No. I mean, which is fine. What I was going to say was it might be quite nice to give a little bit of feedback about the fact there were alternative endings were possible. So
and they do as you restart.
But I mean, in the story, so perhaps as the robbers flee, or maybe you find some evidence in the house that they used to be your masters, but now it's too late, kind of thing. That kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, altogether, I think they've done a really nice job there, actually.
Yeah, there's sort of like cutscenes in the events, all sort of like the techniques that we talked about.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that they kept over the tutorial information and helped us along the way on those issues as well.
So it took us a while to play that, but good job, I think. Yeah. Let's move on. Okay, so let's have a look at this. I think it's called Prince Rana.
Okay.
Let's see if I can make it full screen. Oh, here we go.
Okay, this looks interesting.
Very. To what do I owe this pleasure, Prince? Press space to continue. So then we've got
background music.
Some nice music at the back there. Perry, you want immortality? Here in one piece, I'll give you a chance. You've been a good and lawful. I'll grant your wish.
What is this based on?
So Prince Rana's frog, right?
But sure.
But who knows which story this actually is?
The fairy stared deeply to Ball. The prince went to question of his vanity when suddenly, earlier that day, there we go. So we are playing in flashback.
All right, and they provided some tutorial,
which is good,
and I like that it's integrated with the.
Whoa! It's that.
Oh, that chases you.
It's a thing that chases me. Oh, there's some instructions along the way. I always missed that. So I've got.
Ooh, that did a lot of damage.
I've got appear to be able to click. Ah, there we go.
And you collected a coin.
So if I right click, I'll right click at a shield. That's quite cute.
So that's how you get past those 5 rules, I guess.
And I can attack in a direction. So it might have been nice to have a static.
Yeah, something like a training dummy or something, because you're already on one hub.
Yeah, but anyway, there we go. Right.
Oh, that's right. There's a heart to.
That's good. All right. This is.
I'm pretty sure that enemy did like 3 damage to you though, so having 2 hearts doesn't necessarily.
Fine. Wild flaky cough. That doesn't sound good. All right. So
Should we be running towards this person who's got the plague?
So is it through that door? Do you think?
I don't know. I would explore the other one first.
The princess. Oh, did it just say the princess?
It will remember something, but I don't.
The princess will remember something, but I don't know what she'll remember.
I think that we just ran away, I guess.
I think we just went through the door. So
no indication that which way the princess was.
yeah, that's the problem. So again, it's about meaningful choice. If you don't have a meaningful choice, please help me. Give 10 gold. So let's be a meanie prince.
Yeah.
Can I kill the beggar?
We could have been in the dialogue, but not in the gameplay.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, so what's it?
Diegetic.
Diegetic, that's the one.
So I have a diegetic choice. I have a non-diegetic choice to kill the beggar, but the actual mechanism I have to kill the beggar doesn't work. Okay, it's a bit unfortunate. Why are these slime monsters walking around the village as well? With a heart. Yeah, so I think it's good to give people choices, but to make them meaningful, they have to know, or they have to at least have some understanding about what the consequences of those choices might be. And you can then play with those later on. You can play with the fact that they're misunderstood. Yeah, but there, I thought the princess was through the door.
Pretty door, right?
Yeah. Okay, so
Can you see the people?
people. I won't ask again. Pay your taxes. I've already paid. Right, yeah, okay. Right. I will pay taxes. I'm handing guard. Stop lying. Pay your taxes. What should we do? I think we're playing a pretty mean prince here. So
Should we just stab them both?
yeah, let's go for it.
The
Okay.
princess will remember.
Princess will remember that. And I'm back to.
I think that just turned them hostile, and then they immediately attacked us because you only had 2 health. They're now back at the start.
Oh right. Okay.
Ah, thank you.
Beggar. Let's slay the insolent peasant.
So yeah, he's attacking you now. So quick stab him.
But it's taking over. I'm not. Is he pushing me? Oh, okay.
He killed you.
Yeah. All right. That's interesting, isn't it? So I wasn't aware of that because he was pushing me. I thought I was running away. Okay. But did you get me?
Hey, didn't you have 10 coins?
I think you might have done.
That's more than the slimes.
So those are. Yeah. I think we
So
learned something
it
about.
may be worth not trying to stab both.
Yeah.
of us.
Let's. So what was a heart over there? Let's just ignore them. Okay. Oh no. Okay. So maybe do it. I've already paid.
You can just say stop lying and pay your taxes or something.
Yeah, let's try that one. My family is starving. Well, Okay.
Yeah, so we're losing karma.
And I've entered this. Oh.
I mean, there was that hint at the start with the fairy saying, "Oh, be good and just and things."
Yes.
But it feels like we're just sort of going through quite a few different situations.
Yeah.
Where we're arbitrarily.
Making decisions. Someone help me. Hey, Hag, I'll save you. Kill the cat.
But weirdly, it
What a
feels like
cute cat.
because it's that choice is sort of foreshadowed at the start, that these are just a bunch of really arbitrary choices based on whether we want to pick all good options or all bad options. There's no real nuance to it.
But
No.
some of these too, right? Like for example, this part with the hag and the cat. Is the cat cursed? Like, do we actually know the cat is cursed, or is the hag lying? So what is actually the right?
So here, we've just found this little girl. So, and she's lost her cat. So
Take this.
I happened to take the cat, but I could have killed the cat,
Yes.
or I could have done nothing. So, all right, we'll give her the cat. So there is some consequence to my
Cat
decision.
purrs in an obviously evil way.
Well, it's a cat. So
Well, so yeah, all cats.
yeah. I'm now terrified these things are going to kill me. Get off! Get off!
cave or mountain. So again, a choice, but it's not really a choice because we don't know whether we want to go to the cave or the mountain.
Okay, which one to? At least it's not pulling me back right to the beginning. This cat is cursed. Hiss. Well, let's try a different way.
Kill the cat.
Kill the cat. Speaks a dog owner.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go. So now if we meet the little girl, she said, "What about my cat?" I said, "Well, I'm
Yes,
very
but
sorry
we
about
helped
this."
the hag. Maybe it was an evil cat. How do we know?
It's true. Have you seen? Yeah, I killed your cat. So
I just lied at the kid.
I was going to say, was that the good option? Or the bad
We don't
option?
know, and so this is it, just it.
We do keep
What
getting dialogue
is-
prompts at the
Oh.
top that say the princess will remember this.
Always, though. It's no matter what. So it's unclear what the good option is or the bad option. So it's impossible to know whether your karma is actually going up or down in any of these instances.
So far, all of the choices have been sort of like good to evil, left to right.
So there's only that, yes.
But that one was we just made a little girl cry, and that option was on the left. So was that the good option? It didn't feel like.
I mean, I haven't
or is
seen the
it,
cat
is it
or lie.
better to kill to lie to the little girl?
So
Maybe there are some really complex moral choices.
But
that
there
we're
are. But how do
investigating.
you know? Like, there's no statement of the morality because we don't know.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about. I mean, it does make it quite difficult to see your progress, but on the other hand, it does perhaps stop it from quite being such a calculated choice. I think the main problem is there's no. It's difficult because there's no context to our actions.
Yes.
So
Other than we've been told
Yeah.
to be good, so we're just trying really hard to be good because.
But we don't know what good is.
But then
Oh, God.
it falls into the same problem as basically every RPG with a moral choice system in that they might as well just ask you right at the start of the game, do you want to be good or evil?
Yes.
And then pick all of those choices. Because if we end up sort of picking half good options and half bad options, then we end up with neutral karma
So-
and we get a rubbish ending.
This team has actually said you can pass him, but you have to be over here to the straight on, but to the left. There you go.
there you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known that.
No,
otherwise.
they found this as bug at the very
Oh.
last minutes.
There we go. Right, so I just gave him 40 to get past because I haven't got much help.
So just going through their game notes, they say there's 5 different endings that we can get, and one of them is dependent on bracket spoilers. So
Yeah,
it might be worth in your game notes mentioning what those spoilers are.
yeah. I think basically when you're doing this kind of stuff, spoilers. Oh dear, this might take a while. So
So what do we think
yeah.
about the quality of this game then? Purely in terms of quality, as opposed to.
I mean, it's quite nicely put together. Really, it's got some nice bits to it. It's got the fighting's a little bit clumsy, but that's probably because I'm trying to rush a little bit.
So there may be a little bit of sort of freezing in the video, but I think that might just be because
It might be, yeah.
that's the recording video. I'm trying to-
I again enjoy the music. It's nice having it is the right music choice for this particular flashbacky mode.
Yes, yes. It's. Oh, what do I do now? I've gone outside again.
So I played this as part of the expo, and I one of the things I did find is when you go through the gateways, you're obviously in a new place. However,
Yeah.
a lot of the new places look so like the last place. I thought I was being sent back to the beginning because I had done something wrong or died.
Yeah, it's quite.
So that was one of my few in terms of quality issues.
Yeah.
Where I struggled with it visually.
Yes, they're not that distinct, and the transitions perhaps don't quite work so well to tell you what's going on. So up ahead I was trying to get that heart and I got killed.
On the other hand, I think the reason I had trouble with it is because they did good things in that they did have checkpoints, right? So you
Yes.
weren't going back to the beginning, right? And that's the only reason I had trouble with the transitions themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
So what about in terms of like the mechanics and the gameplay of this?
Well, I said that it's actually not bad. I'm not finding much use for that shield, apart from those points where you've got the corridors with all the things coming down. So I'm not really using that in fighting, but that's okay. The controls work pretty well. It's a good, consistent game.
It looks pretty okay.
It's quite well put together, isn't it?
There we go, here's a
Disgusting thing.
horrible- we found Frankenstein's monster.
Why are you so scared? I believe you and I'll spare your life. It's mainly because I'm a coward.
Again, was that the evil option or the good option?
Who knows?
Who knows?
But so there is definitely text coming up, and I don't know if it does just say the princess will remember.
I think it's just saying the princess will remember
But
that.
it comes up so fast, and it's so.
And there's no indication of it, whether she'll remember it in a good way or a bad way.
Here we go. Here's the end. I have seen enough. Probably.
What the fairies? You're the biggest. I see.
Curse you to be a frog for the rest of your life, and only a princess's kiss will break the curse.
Oh, okay. So this is the sort of first inkling that it is actually the princess and the frog.
The prince with a large golden yellow phosphatic present frog. Marvellous. Oh, but I like the prince and princess
She's
show
got a plate.
romantic kiss, and suddenly the princess claps the floor. Okay. Let's see. There we go. So she kissed the frog, but it was a poison frog.
Okay.
Now, my
Right.
understanding from the developers is that if you had made good choices,
Yeah.
and I still don't understand what the good choices are in this game, you would have been turned into a frog as well, but it
But
would
not a poisonous
not a
frog.
poisonous frog. The princess would have turned you back into a prince, which is a really sweet twist, right? I enjoy
Yes.
that twist.
Yes.
Really? I don't know, that would frustrate me. Like, I made all of these good choices, I gave up all of my money to these poor peasants, and I still get turned into a frog.
But you get turned back into a prince very quickly, and you get a kiss out of it. I think my biggest problem with this game, though, is purely that I get to make choices, but I don't understand whether they're good choices or at all.
Yeah, I think actually the problem here isn't the game itself.
No.
And it's not even the way the game constructs those things. So I think the typical thing about saying you've got a good neutral or a bad neutral, you don't need to have that. But it's the story. The story doesn't set it up.
Yes.
So you're told, have you been good? And then you go back. And it's like, well, okay, so now I just have to be good. And then all the good choices are obvious, right?
And that's the thing, there aren't baits.
No, but I would argue that all the good choices are not obvious.
Okay.
Some of them are, I mean,
So how do we know that the hag is telling the truth
That's
about
true.
the cursed cat? And the same with the kid, right?
Yeah.
How do we know that
that's the thing, there are some that are sort of less obvious, but there are some that are, sort of, do we just stab the helpless beggar or do we give him some money?
So those are the
Some-
obvious ones.
some
Agreed.
very obvious ones.
Agreed.
But that's the thing, on the surface of it, there are, I don't know, 10 or so different choices to make, but in reality there's not. There's one choice, and it's do you want to be good or evil?
Yes.
And
Yes.
then you just are always trying to pick those options.
Yes.
And there's no. So, for example, when you get to the beggar,
The other question
I don't need my money for anything. So
Sure. It's an easy choice.
well, the other thing is, why would we pick the evil choices, right? The fairy at the start says, you want immortality, then be good. And it's like, okay, do I get anything for picking all of these incredibly comically evil options? Because, so normally it's, in games with this sort of very, very sort of obvious binary monstrous things like Star Wars or Dungeons and Dragons, there is some benefit to taking the comically evil options because it gives you
extra
dark
stuff.
side superpowers.
Yeah.
But in this, it doesn't. It just turns you into a poisonous frog.
Yeah, that's my problem. That the story itself doesn't set up in such a way that it makes sense to make those.
So
options.
if it was a case of, if you pick some of these evil options, you get an extra heart or something.
Yes.
So it's easier to get through the rest of the game, but when you get there, then you're...
That's probably the easiest thing to do, particularly as you do struggle. And I think when you regenerate, you regenerate with 2 hearts out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
So there is definitely the option where they could bribe you with that kind of stuff to make it easier. So that's true. I mean, otherwise, their use of all the the various mechanisms like the cutscenes like this, where they're, I mean, it's quite nice. They've actually got effectively a little scripted cutscene where, with animation, all that unfolds. So technically, I think they've done a really good job of delivering the story. And so the last point, I guess, would be about the fit of the gameplay with the story. So how do you feel about that? The kind of and the mechanics of the story and whether they picked up on the themes of the original story.
I was going to say, so what do you say the themes of the original story are? Is nothing is as it seems.
Pretty much,
It's
yeah.
all deceptive.
Yeah.
Princess and the Frog.
Which they did very well. Is the hag bad? Is the hag good? Is the cat evil? I think
Well, that's true.
I think they did that part actually really well.
Yeah. But again, perhaps they could have underlined it a bit more at the end when you are a frog.
Yeah.
So if you have, it would be quite nice if you had those problems with people and then it demonstrated that they had those problems with you. But So yeah, so I think my feeling is it's a little bit disjointed, but I mean we've been quite picky as a game. I think it delivers quite well.
Great.
All right, let's move on. Okay, so our last game I think is called Princess Power.
Or visual novel? Is that the title, or is that?
I think that's the title of their project.
Okay.
It's Princess Power. There we go.
Excellent.
So this I think is the visual novel game. Click anywhere to start. Okay, here we go. So, so it's a castle. So this is this like a futuristic? No, you don't have to do this. You know, I can just leave. Forget about me, please. I've done nothing wrong. What you've done is treason.
So that's interesting. Just the sound of the text appearing indicates that it's a different character.
Yes.
Which is nice.
Yes, that's quite nice, isn't it? The voices being the text sound. Don't kill me. So I can click to progress these, which is also very good. Neither can I. You're not your father. You can make this kingdom great again.
So I think when I spoke to them during the expo, they did mention that the speed at which the text appears changes depending on the pacing. So to actually sort of emphasise that.
Ooh.
Wow, that was
dramatic.
There's a dramatic introduction.
I'm not sure about the text appearance thing with the sounds. That works really well, but the very fact it appears at all like that is slightly odd, because it feels like it's incongruous with the so it's like a medieval game with princesses and frogs, and we've got digital text beeping and blipping and
alien beeping. Yes.
Yeah, but anyway,
So,
and also this progression of text thing gets annoying very quickly.
yes.
You just want it to appear.
Can you click to it to sort of just make it?
You can, yeah, but then the problem is if you overclick, you miss it. Right, the Great King of Natsu, even out at war with the neighbouring King of Laredo, is beside my sweetheart, Prince Fortuna. Haha. Brilliant, nice.
I recognise that background.
Yes. Sorry for the giddy. So there's quite a lot of
Yes.
build up here. So as you might sense, I'm getting to the point of I just want to click through it now. I'm like, yeah, this is all lovely. Thanks very much, Estelle, but let's get to the castle and get on with things. Oh, history of Natsu books.
So some of these, the bits of the text dialogue are being highlighted in different colours.
Yes.
And I'm not super sure if that's just for emphasis or whether there's
Something important here.
So we've had kill in red, we've had heart in red,
Yeah.
we've had strong and stable in blue.
The walking was in yellow. Yeah.
I'd assumed it was just for emphasis, but you're right, it's not clear.
But the fact that they're all emphasised in different colours.
That voice can only be... Oh, it's Archer. Who's Archer? Ah, there we are.
There you
And my friend's going. It's from the 19th century. Yeah, so I did play this in the expo, and it does take quite a long time to get to the... So I'm not sure how long we've been playing now, but there's been no choices
No.
at all. And there's been quite a lot of
Extra
of what you
bits.
might call chit-chat, small talk.
And it comes up slowly.
Yeah. So I mean, there is a I forget what the actual numbers are, but there's a kind of guide to writing
stop.
for games.
Don't
yeah,
stop.
Don't stop.
Keep-
Go on. Age gone. You get to there's
words per minute.
words per minute. Yeah.
So that's, we mentioned this in one of the lectures. Books have, is it 250 or 150?
It's something
Books
like
have
that.
something
It's well over 100.
and games have 60.
60.
before
Yeah.
players
Hardly
start.
any.
Yeah.
So I think when you're writing, even
Yeah.
if it's a visual novel,
Yeah.
I think you have to really crack on with it.
I mean, so in some sense, in like a sort of full-scale like visual novel game, this would probably be a bit more, sort of separate.
We have our very first choice, everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
But in like a small prototype where you're
Yes.
sort of trying to show off how
get
you've
to it.
implemented that story engine.
So-
You sort of want to get straight there.
So your choices have brackets around them, then, sort of giving you a hint as to what's going on. So they explain that to me in the expo that the idea is that the princess is quite intuitive and quite good at diplomacy. So she has a sense of what her words are going to say, and then they play with that a little bit as the game goes on. But it's not clear what that is at the beginning.
Or why it's happening.
Why it's happening, yeah. So they could have done with a bit of setup, I think.
So again, that was another example we gave in the lectures where we talked about a similar thing involving sort of
Yes.
psychics and multiple choice and sort of subverting intentions.
Yeah.
But
Rational. Okay.
interesting.
What's this?
So I'm already a little bit lost. We've been
Sorry,
introduced
I was
to a-
pushing the buttons.
No,
No,
not too
not
fast.
just because of that.
It
But
happened
just
to me
because
when I
we've
read it too.
got Estelle, we've got Fortuna, we've got Archer, we've got the
There's a lot
Kingdom
going
of
on.
Nas. There's a lot of
Yeah.
not quite jargon, but we're being introduced to a lot very quickly. And because it's just being sort of, it's
Yeah.
it's basically just a big exposition.
Yes. There's also little things like when the choices are presented to you, the previous text disappears off the screen,
Mm.
so the context of the choice disappears, and that can make things difficult. I mean, so what they've essentially done here is they've got a visual novel which is the equivalent of a murder mystery. But
Yep.
instead of being a murder mystery, it's a kind of a frog identification mystery.
Yep.
And you pick up clues, and then you meet the frogs, you talk to them, and you have to try and figure out which of the frogs is your beloved. And I quite like that as a setup. I think that's a really nice idea. It just takes a long time to get to get. I mean, we haven't met the frogs yet, apart from the beginning part.
So there is, and I still, yeah, that's the thing. So the beginning part was nice because it was that sort of, not quite immediate res, but sort
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
I guess, a flashback to a previous thing.
Yeah.
It sort of spiked the
Yeah.
dramatic tension. But I'm still not sure what it meant yet.
No, I don't.
Why was somebody murdering a frog?
Yeah. So apparently they got these frogs. They commissioned someone to draw these frogs for them
Did they?
Because they couldn't find any anime frogs.
anime frogs with different expressions.
Yeah.
And colouring.
They
That's
needed expressive
amazing.
So that's commitment.
So that is
That
dedication.
is true.
I was very impressed by that.
Okay, so at this point we're supposed to be using the flowers, presumably, to try. So one of these is our prince,
So who are the other two?
I'm not
They're just
sure.
frogs.
and I'm not sure. So there was the accident in the apothecary. Was that what caused this to happen? So I think for me
yeah.
that actually again the game engine is
Oh,
pretty-
look at that! The
There you
expression
go.
changed. They really.
They really did this. I think the game engine itself seems to work pretty well. But again, the issues are probably to do with the story. That it takes a long time to get into it. That it's a little bit confusing what's going on.
It's like blind dating for frogs. Frog
Yeah.
number one.
Yeah. But who? I like that. I like that idea. That's really good.
It is.
So there is a really good blog talking about writing choose-your-own adventures.
Yeah.
It's from choiceofgames.com because they make lots of choose-your-own adventures, and they
Yeah.
talk about they try not to go more than 100 words without giving the player a choice.
Right.
Even if
Right.
it's
Yeah.
even if it's not a real choice, but just they put up an option on the screen to sort of pick the player's favourite, something absolutely meaningless, just so the player feels like they have
They
some
have-
agency.
Because
Yeah.
right now I've stopped reading. I'm just clicking.
Just
to make it click.
You just you switch off, don't you?
Yep.
And that's the thing, right? And that's what we have to do because we
Yeah.
only have 10 minutes or so to play this, and we haven't really seen at all how their story engine is impacting any of this.
No. So you're picking up stuff from the inventory,
I've got 3 different
Um,
flowers. Yeah.
and-
But how
and
am I going to use that?
and that I was quite confused when I saw that. And I said, where can I click to see my inventory? Where's my inventory? And they said, well, the inventory comes up at the relevant point.
Yeah.
But again, I kind of think if you're going to, to make it feel more interactive, why not have just an inventory thing on the side that I can click and have a look at? Yeah, it can open up automatically at the right places, but just so I can recap. And I have a book on the history of the kingdom, but I can't go and look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the simplest decisions you can give people in these kind of narratives is just to choose, give them a set of things and they just get to pick the option. So I feel quite lost as to why you're trusting some of the frogs.
Exactly.
Compressed a lot of that exposition at the start, right? By just saying, "Yep, in your inventory is this history book.
Yes.
You can go and read it at your leisure."
Yeah.
But for now, frogs.
Yes.
And then perhaps a prompt later on, when you meet Archer saying something. Surely you would know that from your history lessons.
It's like, yes, let me just quickly.
So also, there's quite a lot of decisions that are being made for us.
Yes. So, for example, one of the things I actually think would behoove us here is, do you remember Carmen Sandiego, where you do gather facts, you kind of have like your inventory to the side, you have your fact book to the side, and you can match up, because they've given us flowers. About 10 minutes of dialogue ago, she had mentioned what her favorite flower was.
Yeah.
I can't remember that.
No.
Right? But it impacts because
sort of
they are making decisions.
Sort of having like your journal of clues and as well as your inventory.
Yeah.
Because see, the problem is this is so nicely put together. Like just from what we've seen of it, like in terms of, the graphics all sort of are very nicely themed. The way the text appears, but there's so little gameplay that we've actually got to see yet.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll keep on going because I'd like to get to at least some of the frog interrogations. Here we go.
And I'll say, so speaking of the frog interrogations, just quickly, the way the frog's expressions change throughout the dialogue was really nice, because I was thinking, how do we know, how are we going to need some sort of numbers or a stat bar to show which frog we've
but it works.
So the fact that it shows up just sort of semi-organically just through their facial expressions, but the problem is, all of the times their expression changes, except for I think once, was nothing to do with us, because we only made one choice during that whole scene.
No, but shit, my evidence.
Oh, so here now, maybe now here comes the
now
evidence.
we get into this. So there was something else. Something else that they said would happen was that this prediction text, this oh boy and all that, that becomes less reliable as the game goes on, because she becomes more under pressure. But I don't think that's made at all clear. And also, it's not really got anything to do with the story.
No.
And I think we kind of used some examples like that in the lectures about saying, well, you could have a mechanic where you get some premonition of what's going to happen, and then you could play with that. But the point of that was to say that works in stories which are about predicting the future, or about understanding what's going ahead, or the consequences of, so a story about fate, for example.
Okay, so now we can check our evidence, right?
Yes.
And
why have you got a gun?
I don't know why I have a gun, but I was looking about Chocolate Cosmos, I think.
One of the rest. National Flower Gerudo.
Sunflower.
So we've also got the the green book. That's the history. Can we click the green book?
Do you want to look in that one, or do you want to look about the Chocolate Cosmos page?
I think let's look in the green book, because I think
that's the thing. We're not looking at it.
We're
making a choice of which one we give them.
Well, it's suspicious. Okay. Can you right click? I've got a feeling that they might have said you can right click on the inventory items to find out more about them as well. So if you right click on it instead. No. Yeah. Well, you are aware that.
Oops, sorry, I missed one. I was so into clicking.
But this is the problem with the whole clicking thing. Is you end up just clicking through.
Alright.
So I think the point is that you're supposed to have this very terrible relationship with the nation of Gerudo.
Yes.
So the idea that the frog then picks you the national flower of Gerudo is supposed to be a clue.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite difficult to spot. So in terms of quality, I think there are lots of things to like here. There's a few odd things, like the text appearing is a bit annoying. But there's a lot to like. There's a lot of really nice presentation. They use a lot of different methods.
Yep.
And I think the premise is good as well. They use a lot of techniques. But again, it just perhaps is a bit loose in the way that they bring it together. And I think overall it doesn't quite work because of that.
I think, like I said before, for a sort of full-scale visual novel thing, because if you're picking up a sort of visual novel type game, then you probably are fairly interested in reading all of it.
Yes.
But for a quick prototype to show how you built a story engine, it's just a little bit too much before you get to that actual.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. Okay, I think we should probably leave it there. I think that was our last game. So thanks very much for listening, and we'll be back in the next video. Thank you.